I always knew I wanted to study abroad at some point during college, but in all honesty, my decision to come to Prague this semester was made mostly because my roommate wanted to study abroad, and it made our living situation easier if I studied abroad too. And then she bailed, but that's beside the point. I had a 30-minute meeting with my advisor, looked at some pictures of the Charles Bridge on Instagram, and decided to live in a foreign country for 4 months without putting any more thought into it than that. I really didn't put much thought into it, mentally anyway. In the weeks leading up to the program, my mindset was still completely focused on my life at home in Colorado. Instead of making copies of my passport and my visa, I worked full-time up until a week before I left. Instead of packing, I went to my school's football game 2 days before my flight. As you can tell from this extremely awkward photo that my mom forced me to take at the airport, this is the face of a girl who was not ready to live in Europe. You could say I was getting a jump start on my denial phase. My first few weeks in Prague weren't much better. I was so obsessed with worrying about home that I wasn't appreciating the opportunity I had sitting right in front of me. It was like, oh look, the Prague Castle, but I miss my dog. Or hey, the Charles Bridge, but let me spend 5 minutes taking a Snapchat selfie to send to my friends back home instead. See how annoying just 5 seconds of that was? That was my mind all the time. I was going crazy. My wake-up call came when I was FaceTiming a friend back home. Having been in the defense polarization phase for a few weeks, I was complaining to my friend about how much I wanted to be home instead of in Prague. I ranted about how the grocery stores were smaller and how the people were mean, how it was always cloudy. Pretty arbitrary stuff in the grand scheme of things. My friend stopped me halfway through and said, "Dude, you're in Europe, and you're only going to be there for 2 more months." As dumb as it sounds, those 2 sentences got me thinking. I was in Europe. It would be a waste of time if I didn't at least try to enjoy myself. So I started with baby steps. I went to the cafe down the road from my apartment and was able to order my entire meal in Czech. After that experience, I went there so often that the employees recognized me and always greeted me with a big smile when I walked in. I was on the tram when an older woman came on, and I was the only one to offer her my seat. I remember she smiled and thanked me multiple times. It sounds pretty simple talking about it out loud, but moments like that really helped me get out of my head and into living life in Prague. I still struggled with being away from home, but now that I was no longer seeing everyone and everything as an adversary, I was able to truly learn from another culture and grow from my study abroad experience. Looking back, I am so grateful for the past 4 months. I am grateful for all of the wonderful people that I have met. I am grateful for these things. And the dumplings. And for the booze, let's be honest here. I am grateful for all of the beautiful countries I've gotten to visit. And I am grateful for having been able to explore the culture of Prague, even if just for a few months. America will always be my home, and I'm excited to go back. But I know that I will carry these experiences with me for the rest of my life. And for that, I'll always be thankful.